Dear student friends, myself Dr. M. Srinivas Reddy, Professor of Mechanical Engineering and Principal at R.L. Jalapa Institute of Technology, Tudballapur, Bangalore Rural District. In this session, I am going to give a presentation on linear programming and its formulation. In the session 1, we have discussed about Introduction to OR, in which we have discussed about the concept or meaning of operations research, historical development of operations research, applications of operations research, and various tools and techniques of operations research. So in the list of tools and techniques, I have given you linear programming, integer programming, transportation problem, assignment problem, game theory, and so on. Let us discuss about linear programming in this session in detail. Coming to the learning objectives or outcomes, after watching this video, you should be able to explain the concept of LPP, that is linear programming problem, understand the basic components of LPP, formulate a problem as a linear programming problem. Coming to the linear programming is a powerful mathematical tool used by the decision makers. The word linear states that relationships involved in a particular problem are linear. So between two variables, let us say x and y, if the relationship between x and y is linear, okay, such type of this one is called as linear programming problem. Programming is another word for planning. Maximization or minimization of a linear function subject to the set of constraints is termed as linear programming. So already we have discussed optimization stands for either maximization or minimization based on its objective. If the objective is, if the parameter is profit, it is maximization. If the parameter is cost, it is minimization. The objective, either it may be maximization or minimization, that refers to optimization. So of course, minimization or maximization of a function will do it based on the constraints, based on the set of constraints. So constraints are nothing but like limits or the boundaries, okay, or the conditions imposed on some availability of resources. Linear programming was conceptually developed by an outstanding Russian mathematician A.N. Kolmogorov. Coming to the basic components of LP, decision variables. So these are the unknowns to be determined subject to the constraints. So in general, from school days itself, okay, if something is unknown, so we call that as x, y, z, something like that. So in the same way, so these are the unknowns, okay, to be determined subject to the constraints, of course. Objective function, a linear mathematical relationship in terms of decision variables, involving the above variables that you declared like x1, x2, x3 and so on. So that is to be maximized or minimized. So this will discuss the next stage very clearly, so with an example or a general form. Constraints are nothing but the restrictions, as I have told, the limitations or conditions placed in the form by operating environment stated in linear relationships of the decision variables. So linear equations and inequalities. This is a linear equation. For example, 2a plus 5b is 10. Whereas the second one, 2a square plus 5b cube plus 3ab, so it is not the linear equation, non-linear equation we can say. So LP uses in many cases inequalities also, like a plus b is lesser than or equal to c, or a plus b greater than or equal to c, or something like. So in LPP, so we use either linear equation, that is like exactly equation, or maybe inequality less than or equal or greater than equal type. Coming to the general mathematical formulation of LPP, general formulation of a linear programming problem is, in order to find n decision variables, let us say there are n unknowns, so let them say x1, x2 and so on up to xn, to maximize or minimize the objective function, that is z equals to c1 x1 plus c2 x2 and so on cn xn, where x1 x2 and so on up to xn are the decision variables, c1 c2 and so on are the costs or coefficients, satisfying the m constraints. So a11 x1 plus a12 x2 and so on a1n xn lesser than or equal to or greater than or equal to b1. This b1 stands for the resource, whichever is on RHS, no, that is the resource. Similarly, a21 x1 plus a22 x2 and so on, so is lesser than or equal to or greater than or equal to b2. It is like the matrix a11 first row first column, first row second column, second row first column and so on, okay, till amn, mth row nth column. These are the resources like b1, b2 and so on up to bm. Now of course, where z is the objective function, so if the objective is minimization, no, we will write z min. If the objective is maximization, we will write this z as z max. And c1, c2, as I have stated, they are the coefficients of the objective function, and again a11, a12, all these things, no, so up to a2n, a2n or amn, like that, okay, are the coefficients of constraints. And of course, as I stated, b1, b2, b3 and so on bm are the resources, whichever you are seeing on the RHS. Now let us see some basic problems. So that's what, how to formulate a problem as an LPP. So it will be given in the word language, the data. So that data you have to convert into the form of mathematical form, that is nothing but the formulation or LPP, linear programming problem. Now a company manufactures radios and calculators. The radios contribute rupees 10 per profit, and calculators 15 rupees as profit. Each radio requires 4 diodes and 4 resistors, while each calculator requires 10 diodes and 2 resistors. The radio takes 12 minutes and the calculator takes 9.6 minutes of time on the company electronic testing machine. The product manager estimates that 160 hours of test time is available. The firm has 8000 diodes, 3000 resistors in the inventory or stock. So you are supposed to formulate the problem as an LPP in order to maximize the profit. My advice is, always read the problem clearly or completely. So if necessary, read it twice or thrice. Don't come to the conclusion just by reading the problem once or half reading or something like that. Do not come to the conclusion just by reading few lines of the problem or so. It's completely read it. If necessary, read and reread. Okay, so come to the clarity. Till then, okay, you please do not start the solution. What I mean to say is, so if you understand the problem thoroughly, so that solution part, okay, will become simple. So now radios, no, will contribute 10 rupees as profit, calculators 15 rupees as profit, and this is the requirement of diodes and resistors, okay, and these are the time estimates, okay, radio 12 minutes and calculator 9.6 minutes on the electronic testing machine, and of course this is the availability of time, availability of diodes, availability of resistors, everything is clear. So now we are supposed to formulate the problem as an LPP in order to maximize the profit. So where is the profit actually? Here, okay, 10 rupees and 15 rupees. Now, so let us divide the formulation stage, the formulation procedure into 3 steps. Step 1, declaration of the variables always. So now any unknown, no, we'll call it as variable like. Okay, decision variable or simply a variable. Now in this case, so if you read from a closer perspective, so radios and calculators are the 2 products which are unknown, in quantity or numbers like. So what you have to do in step 1 is, let x1 comma x2 be the number of radios and calculators to be manufactured by the company. Okay, so that is the first step. Now in the second step, now involving these variables, considering the profit you have to write the objective function. That is step 2. So however, okay, we'll discuss in detail about this formulation. Okay, now step 3 is conditions are there. I mean the constraints are there, no? So that is about diodes, resistors, time, total time available for testing and all this. Okay, so these are the constraints. So you have to put them in the form of equations or inequalities or whatever it is. So now step 1, declaration of variables. Step 2 is the linear function. So that is the objective function involving the decision variables. Step 3 is writing the constraints. So let us see the solution for this. A linear programming model can provide an intelligent solution to this problem. Okay, so as we discussed, let x1 be the number of radios and x2 be the number of calculators. The objective function involving this x1 and x2 will be this one, 10x1, because each unit of radio will give 10 rupees. 10x1 will be the profit from x1 radios. Similarly, 15 rupees is the unit profit. 15x2 will be the profit on x2 numbers. So because you are going to blend the product or mix the product, 10x1 plus 15x2 will become the profit. As it is profit, you have to maximize, hence the suffix z max. Of course, subject to the constraints. What are the constraints? First one is diodes. Each radio requires 4 diodes. So if x1 radios are there, 4x1 diodes. So these are the diodes required for calculators. So 4x1 plus 10x2 less than or equal to 8000. That is the upper limit you have. I mean, you are not having more than 8000 diodes. So this is like a ceiling, upper ceiling. Okay, 4x1 plus 10x2 less than or equal to 10,000 diodes constraint, I can say. Now resistors constraint is there, 4x1 plus 2x2. So these are the number of resistors required for x1 radios, number of resistors required for x2 calculators put together. So you have maximum 3000 resistors, hence it should be less than or equal to 3000. Why it is lesser than or equal to means maximum you have that much only, so you are not supposed to cross that quantity. For example, okay, in your university examination maximum marks is 100, let us say, so you cannot score more than 100, no? So it's like that, okay, maybe less than or equal to 100 will get, upper end 100 of 100, so you can go to the maximum, but it may be lesser also. That's why lesser than or equal to the availability, like, fine. Now one more thing is time. 12x1 is the time required, 12 minutes each radio takes plus 9.6 each calculator. So we are multiplying with the unknown quantity. So less than or equal to 96,000. Why this 96,000 is, it is given in 160, no? I mean hours it is. So 12 is in minutes, 9.6 is in minutes, hence, so this also converted conveniently to the same unit, that is 9600. Okay, that is 160 into 60. And there is a default constraint called as non-negativity constraint, which indicates x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0, because you have declared them as products, I mean decision variables, they cannot be negative, in other words. So maybe 0, okay, you may drop the idea of going for radios or calculators if they are not profitable, but so you cannot go for, or you cannot have the negative numbers. To avoid that or to have the clarity, so this is a non-negativity or a default constraint, we'll say. Similarly, let us see one more problem. So it is also very similar to the previous one. A farmer has to plant 2 kinds of trees A and B in a land of 4,400 square meter in area. Tree A requires at least 25 square meter and B requires 40 square meters land. The annual water requirement of A is 30 units and that of B is 15 units per tree, while 3,300 units of water is available. If the return in the sense profit of tree A is expected to be 1.5 times as much as B, formulate it as an LPP. Now let us analyze the problem. Let us read and reread as I told. Now it is the problem on farming. Earlier it was the problem on the production of calculators and the radios. Now it is about farming. A farmer is in dilemma. So regarding plantation of 2 kinds of trees A and B is having a bit of land, that is for 4400 square meter, whereas type A tree requires 25 square meter, B requires 40 square meter land, and there is a constraint about the water also. A requires 30 units of water, B requires 15 units, while only 3300 units of water is available. Like, okay, now we are supposed to formulate again. So let us divide the problem, or let us divide the formulation procedure into 3 steps. First step is declaration of the variables. Now x1 and x2, as usual, let x1, x2 be the number of type A and type B trees respectively. Okay, step 1 is over. Okay, step 2 is involving x1 and x2. Now you have to write the linear function, which is nothing but the objective function, so designated as z in general. So now it is given that, okay, no exact profit or no exact number is given, but instead of that it is given like this: profit on tree A is 1.5 times as much as B. So what is the meaning of this? Means if B gives 1 rupee, this gives 1.5 rupee. Like in general, if this is 1.5, this one, or if it is 10, 15, 100, 150, like that. Hence, so step 2 we can write as Z max equals to 1.5 x1 plus 1 x2. So why it is Z max means, again it is like written in the sense profit. Fine. So let us see the constraints and all, we will see there itself. Let x1 be the number of type A trees, x2 be the number of type B trees, and then the objective function is this one, Z max, of course subject to the land constraint. This is the land requirement per tree of type A, this is the land requirement per tree of type B. So why you are multiplying with this one means we are assuming that x1 type of type A, x2 of type B. So put together this will be the total land required for type A and type B is less than or equal to 4400. This is one constraint. One more is land constraint. Land constraint we discussed. The water constraint, that is 30 x1 plus 15 x2 is lesser than or equal to 3000. It's like self-explanatory again. 30 units of water per tree of type A, 15 units of water per tree of type B. So put together, so we have maximum 3300 units of water. And of course the non-negativity constraint or default constraint is x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Now let us take a new type of problem. So in problem number 1 and 2 we have discussed about of course the formulation only, wherein profit it was given, hence it was Z max also. Okay, optimization in the sense, okay, repeatedly I am telling, it may be max or min. So if it is cost it becomes min, if it is profit it is max. Like, now let us go through the problem. Egg contains 6 units of vitamin A per gram and 7 units of vitamin B per gram and costs 12 paise per gram, whereas milk contains 8 units of vitamin A per gram and 12 units of vitamin B per gram. Fine. And costs 20 paise per gram. The daily minimum requirement of vitamin A and B are 100 units and 120 units respectively. Formulate the problem for optimal product mix. Now, so let us see the difference between this problem and the previous two problems. So this is cost oriented, we can say, because we are going to spend something for the food, maybe egg or milk or whatever it is. Fine. Okay, now one more thing is minimum requirement is 100 and 120. Minimum is 100. We'll see that in detail. First of all, okay, let us declare the variables. Let x1, x2 be the number of units of egg and milk to be consumed. Okay, so like that, okay, let us declare the variables. Now, so it is given that, so cost of egg per gram, cost of milk per gram. Okay, 12 or something like whatever it is given. So that is multiplied by that plus again the cost multiplied by the next quantity, that is x2. Fine. So as it is cost, no, it is minimum, Z min equals to so and so. So these are first two steps. Then third step we'll see. Okay, fine. Now let x1, x2 be the number of units of egg and milk respectively. Okay, the objective function becomes, so 12x1, 12 paise per gram, no, 12 paise per unit or so, plus 20 paise per unit. Like, put together it will be the cost like. Okay, so as it is cost, no, we have to minimize to the possible extent, hence it is Z min, of course subject to the two constraints. What are the constraints? Vitamin A and vitamin B like. Okay, 6x1 plus 8x2. What is the 6x1 means? So if you consume 1 gram of egg or so, 1 gram of egg, you will get 6 units or something like. Okay, plus 8x2 greater than or equal to 100. So what is the meaning of this is 100 units of vitamin A is mandate. Okay, so hence 6x1, what is this 6 means? 6 units, this is so many grams, per gram 6 units, right? Okay, so many grams, plus 8 units, so many grams, or so many this one, greater than or equal to, this is a minimum requirement. I mean a person, a healthy person, or to maintain a good health. Okay, so this is the requirement, let us take, and it should not fall down. Okay, that's why it is greater than or equal to 0. Then 7x1 plus 12x2 greater than or equal to 120. So again it is pertaining to vitamin B. So these numbers are given like, so this is a composition of, okay, egg and composition of milk. Okay, x1 and x2 are the, so number of units. Okay, fine. As usual, the default constraint is x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. So that's all. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Now let us see a new problem, I mean a new type of problem. Old hens can be bought at rupees 50 each, but young ones cost 100 rupees each. Just to create interest in the class or in the session or so, just instead of taking the products every time, so old hen, young hen, it has been taken. The same problem, okay, you can think of like old machine, new machine, buying old car, new car, old bike, new bike, and so on. Maybe old computer, new computer, like that. Okay, so but just to have I mean just to have fun in the session, so old hens, young hens, or something like it is taken. Old hens can be bought at rupees 50 each, but young ones cost rupees 100 each. The old hens lay 3 eggs per week and young hens 5 eggs per week, each egg being worth rupees 3. A hen costs rupees 5 per week for feeding. Okay, if a person has only rupees 5,000 for hens to spend, how many of each kind hen you should buy, assuming that you cannot house or accommodate more than 50 hens at a time? So let us apply our mind. So this is somewhat different. Of course, I mean number of variables are 2 only, x1 and x2, old hens and young hens. So step 1, okay, it's done. Let x1 comma x2 be the number of old and young hens respectively. Coming to the step 2, little workout you have to do like. So let me give some examples in this regard or in connection to this. In general, selling price minus cost or income minus expenditure, let us put like this. Income minus expenditure is the profit. Income minus expenditure is the profit. For example, if I buy a product for 10 rupees and if I sell it for 12 rupees, 12 rupees is my income, whereas my expenditure is 10 rupees. I bought it for 10 rupees, no? That is my expenditure, whereas I got the income of 12 rupees. So the profit is 12 minus 10, that is rupees 2. So why, okay, I am giving this example, you will come to know now. So here in getting the objective function, two things are involved. One is the farmer, no, the person, I mean the person who is having or who is planning to buy the hens, so he is going to get the income by selling the eggs. Fine. For that some expenditure will be incurred, that is towards the feeding cost. So his income minus expenditure will be the profit. So this is a little extra work that you have to take care. Okay, in the previous 3 problems it was direct in the sense, okay, so you were able to write the objective function quickly, but here, so what you have to do is you have to think a little bit. So income minus expenditure, what I can say, commerce or economics, little bit minimum knowledge, nothing more than that. Fine. Now let us see, and that is about objective function, however we'll discuss. Then coming to the constraints, you have two constraints. One is budget constraint is not having more than 5,000, and another is capacity. So you cannot accommodate more than 50 hens at a time. So now coming to the solution part or formulation part, let x1, x2 be the number of old hens and young hens respectively. Income from the eggs, like 3x1 plus 5x2. What is the meaning of this 3x1 means? So one old hen lay 3 eggs per week. These are the number of old hens. 3 into x1 will be the number of eggs that you will get from old hens, and these are similarly, these are the number of eggs you will get from young hens. 5 eggs per week, 5 eggs per week by young hens. So put together, these are all eggs now, multiplied by each egg, you can sell it at rupees 3. So this you can call as equation A or equation 1. Now coming to the cost, or simply, feeding cost, or simply the cost, x1 plus x2 into 5. What is x1? Number of old hens, x2 is number of young hens, put together. So whether it is old or young, so feeding cost is same, it is given, that is 5. So multiplied by 5. So you can call this as 5. This is B. Equation A minus B, that is income minus cost or expenditure. So will be this, that is 3 into 3, 9x1 minus 5x1, that is 4x1 plus 10x2 similarly. So as it is profit, now okay, you can write the objective function. So only this is the little extra work, okay. So the thing is income minus expenditure, or income minus cost is the product. Okay. Now the objective function is z max equals to 4x1 plus 10x2, of course subject to the two constraints. So each old hen costs 50 rupees, young hen costs 100 rupees. Okay. So like that, okay, you are assuming x1 and x2, old and young hens. 50 x1 plus 100 x2 should be less than or equal to 5,000. So because he is not having more than that much amount to spend on the hens. Okay. Then housing constraint, accommodation, x1 plus x2 put together, he cannot house or accommodate more than 50 hens. That is given. So hence x1, x2, that is non-negativity constraint to impose as usual. See, whatever is given in the form of the words or data, okay, that you have converted into the form of structure, mathematical structure. So this is nothing but the LPP, formulation of the problem as LPP, linear programming problem. Like now let us see a case study. Case study, why case study in general is always you have to take problem as a real time problem. So you have to assume that you are facing that problem. Okay. So always give importance to understand the concept, to gain the knowledge, in other words. So by default you can face the examination, marks will be the byproduct. What I mean to say is each and every problem that you have discussed, you have to assume that you are facing, or you are given to crack it or solve it or something like. Fine. Maybe the calculator problem, that farmer problem we discussed, egg and milk problem, and just now we discussed about old hens and young hens. So all this, okay. So of course solving a problem, what is the use of it? You should be in a position to apply it somewhere. You should be in a position to implement it somewhere. So keeping that in mind, so I have prepared a case study, so which indicates the real-time application, which will allow you to think how we can use this concept of formulation in day-to-day life. So this is a case study related to Forest Department of a state government. The Forest Department of a state was planning to introduce a new concept known as social forestry, the various activities under this, okay, roadside plantation, canal side plantation, tribal plantation, all these things, creation of village forests. So there are 5, this one. We will discuss that, okay, in the form of table. An in-depth study of social cost and social benefit of each activity and the expected rate of return was carried out. The department was received a grant, financial grant of rupees 500 lakhs, that is 5 crore from the government, and other world renowned organizations, the department has decided to spend not more than 100 lakhs. So they have given some conditions or constraints for each category. Not more than, or at least. Not more than means you should not cross that. At least means, so you should maintain minimum that. You please try to understand. So at least you have to get 35 marks means, so you should be greater than or equal to 35 to declare it as pass. At not more than 100 means, okay, you cannot cross 100. Maximum you can cross 100. Like that it is fine. So the rate of return, that is return means profit always, is given in the form of table. Roadside plantation. These are all the different activities, so that are in the scheme. Roadside plantation, okay, canal side plantation, tribal welfare, all these things. Expected rate of return in terms of percentage it is given. You can convert this as 0.15 fraction. Fine. Now, so you are supposed to suggest the forest department in the direction of optimum allocation of available funds so as to maximize the returns. Okay, see the problem. Okay, it looks lengthy, or okay, what is this problem, how to tackle or how to crack. So you may get it in the beginning, but once, okay, if you analyze, okay, so this is nothing. In fact, problem looks so this much, 2 pages or 2 slides, whereas solution is few lines. So what I mean to say is, so if you plan it properly, so you can convert this entire data, okay, so as mathematical problem or formulation in very simple way, following the 3 steps. What are the steps? 3 steps is declaration of variables, then second step is writing the objective function, then third step is writing the constraints. Like now, as usual, so let us assume x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 be the number of trees, okay, to be planted, roadside plantation, canal side plantation respectively. 5, you know, that's why. So up to x5 you will get x1 to x5. So this ratio is given, hence what you can do is 0.15 x1 plus 0.1 and so on, whatever is given. So this is the, this one, profit coefficient. Fine. x1, x2, number of trees of different categories. Fine. I mean activities. So now Z max or so will be this one, subject to the constraints. See, x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5, something like, so is nothing but 500. Okay. So I mean the budget that you are going to spend, no, budget that you are going to spend, you are going to divide. So what is this x1 means? Actually this is the fund allocation for fund allocation, not the number of this one, fund allocation for this plantation, x2 for this plantation, tribal welfare activities, this is the fund, like that. Okay. Yeah, mean you are going to decide how to distribute the fund, that is 500 lakhs or 5 crores. So how to distribute, like, okay. So now x1 plus x2 plus x3, this will be in terms of lakhs or so. x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 should be exactly equation here. Of course, okay, you can put less than or equal to also, but as it is a fund, okay, you are not supposed to have the surplus fund or shortfall of the fund also. So whatever the fund that is released for a specific purpose, that is for social forestry, you have to completely or effectively utilize it in that sense. Okay. So you can take that as an equation. I mean, so if you combine the fund of this, okay, for various categories, no, or activities, it should become 500 lakhs, like, and they have imposed a condition, x1 should be greater than, so okay, x2 fund limitation they have given. So I mean, for this one you should not cross 100, for this one at least 50, at least 75, at least 25, so like that. And x1 to x5, that is x1 comma x2 comma x3 x4 and x5 greater than or equal to 0, non-negativity constraint. So you please note that when to use lesser than or equal and when to use greater than or equal. So that's what, okay, if the maximum, this one is availability, okay, not more than 100. For example, in a day, so you have 24 hours. Whatever you do, no, okay, you have to do within 24 hours or less than that, like. In such case, so you have to put less than or equal. So the marks example already have given. Okay. So to declare pass in a subject in the university examination, so minimum is what, 35. Okay, you cannot score, I'm sorry, if you score less than 35, it will be treated as fail, let us say. Then the program they will write like this. So if a student scores in between 35 to 100, but not more than 100, maybe 100 also. So because more than 100 means it will become invalid, like, okay. So what I mean to say is, so the number of marks, no, so should be greater than or equal to 35, and at the same time it should be less than or equal to 100. In that range, it will be declared as pass, like. So why? Okay, it may go up to 100, but it cannot cross 100. No, there we'll put the the inequality as less than or equal. And to pass, no, minimum is 35. Hence, we'll put greater than or equal to 35. So even 36 also pass. No, that's why greater than or equal to 35 we'll put. So like this, see. So though the problem looks okay, little bit lengthier, okay, like a real-time problem. So okay, if you use your smartness, okay, you can solve it in very simple way. So that is the power of LPP, or mathematical formulation. Okay, in the next session we'll discuss how to solve the formulated problem using the graphical method. That is in session 3. So we'll discuss that in session 2. No, so what we discussed, let me brief in couple of minutes. First thing is, what is linear programming, we discussed, fine. Then components of linear programming. Components means decision variables. Okay, then objective function, then the constraints, like, of course, how to formulate the generic form we discussed, general formulation of LPP, or mathematical formulation. Okay, then okay, we have taken 3-4 problems, okay, general problems to understand about the formulation. There we have followed 3 steps. Step 1 is declaration of variables. Step 2, writing the objective function. Step 3, the conditions are constraints, like. Then okay, we have taken a case study to understand the real-time application or real-time usage of the concept of LPP. So I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to all of you for your kind attention. So thank you once again. Take care and have a nice time.